Okay, let's unpack this. Welcome to the deep dive.
Hey there.
Today, we're taking a look at some recent moments in the very public lives of Hailey and Justin Bieber.
Yeah, focusing on this contrast that seems to be showing up.
Exactly, between their recent social media activity and some, reflections Hailey shared previously about life under that intense spotlight.
And just to be super clear up front, we're pulling all our insights for this deep dive from basically one place.
Right.
An article in People magazine, published June 8th, 2025, written by Toria Sheffield.
So think of this as us just guiding you through exactly what that one report lays out, no outside stuff.
Precisely.
Our goal is really just to pull out the interesting bits, the quotes, the context, but only what's presented within the specific article.
Which itself draws from their Instagram, Justin stories, and a prior interview Hailey did.
Okay, so let's jump into what People reported. Where does it start?
Absolutely. So the article sets up this interesting juxtaposition. It starts with Hailey's Instagram presence from Sunday, June 8th. And interestingly, this was just hours after some posts from Justin. The timing seems key.
Right. So Hailey gets on Instagram, and she's kind of laying out her summer vibe, it seems.
Yeah, she declared her plans pretty simply. Said, lemon drop martinis and therapy all summer long.
Ah, straightforward. And the article mentioned emojis, too, right? The little unctuous ones?
It did, yeah. Captures the mood. But what really grabs you and what the article makes sure to describe is the picture carousel she shared with that.
Ah, the visuals, not just the words.
Exactly. It wasn't just the caption. It was the whole, aesthetic.
So what did the article say was in there? Paint the picture for us.
Well, people described close-up selfies, shots of those icy summer cocktails she mentioned. And then there was this pretty playful moment, teasing the upcoming under-eye patches from her Road Beauty line.
Oh, yeah. How so?
By strategically placing one on her derriere in a photo.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a choice. A bold marketing move, I guess you could say.
It certainly got attention, I'm sure. The carousel, as people described it, also had a photo of her in a black string bikini, cowboy hat.
Classic summer look.
And that specific shot of a chilled lemon drop martini sitting on a table at, like, a restaurant. Real specific.
And the article connects this back to her business, too.
Briefly, yeah. It reminds about her road line, mentions the recent huge $1 billion sale to ELF Beauty.
Right, but she's still involved.
Yeah, she's still lead creative. So you kind of see the business side woven into the whole lifestyle post. It's smart.
Okay, so you've got Hailey publicly embracing these specific self-care things, therapy, and enjoying the summer, specific drink, curated visuals, some playful, some standard glam.
Right.
Now, the article points out the timing, as you said. This came right after Justin's post from the day before, Saturday, June 7th.
And this is where that contrast the article highlights really comes into focus. Justin's messages, they were described differently.
How so?
Much more cryptic, according to People, shared via his Instagram stories.
Cryptic. But did they have a theme? What was the gist?
Yeah, cryptic, but the article suggests a pretty clear underlying theme, like a weariness, tired of transactional relationships and feeling the weight of what other people expect.
Okay, that sounds heavy. Did it quote him directly?
It did. He apparently put it quite directly, alongside some black and white selfies. If I have to do something to be loved, that's not love.
Ooh, yeah, that line definitely stands out.
It really does. And he didn't stop there. The article highlighted another message where he seemed tired of the constant push to work harder on himself.
Oh, interesting. What did he say about that?
He sort of questioned the whole idea, saying, people still keep making me think if I work hard on myself, I'll be better like them.
Okay.
But the harder I work on myself, the more I think about myself.
Yeah.
I thought the point was to think about one another.
Wow. That's actually a really powerful reflection. Questioning if focusing inward so much stops you from focusing outward.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And in that same post, People reported he suggested a different approach.
Which?
Something like, the only thing that helps me think about others, to let go, not try harder. Join me in letting going of not trying hard.
Letting go, not trying harder. That's a very different message than, say, therapy all summer.
Totally different vibe. So you have Justin kind of vocalizing this desire to let go, pushing back against this idea that constant self-work is the answer. He even hints it might be isolating.
Yeah, I can see that.
So you can definitely see why the article draws this line, this connection between his posts and Hailey's post just hours later, where she specifically names therapy.
Right. The article seems to be implying, maybe, that her public embrace of therapy is one way to navigate the exact pressures he's talking about, the pressures of their very public life.
And to give that even more context, the People article pulls in details from Haley's Vogue profile.
Ah, the one from earlier, May 2025.
That's the one. And according to People, that interview really dug into the unique struggles of living so publicly.
Okay, so what did Vogue say, according to People? What were the struggles she mentioned?
Well, the profile, as summarized here, had her discussing specific challenges. She mentioned being postpartum.
Right. The article reminds us their son, Jack, was born August 2024.
Yes. And she talked about how difficult it was sort of learning a new version of herself during that time, postpartum and in the spotlight.
That's a lot at once. Did she talk about the online stuff, the rumors?
Oh, definitely. Based on the report, she was incredibly candid about just how relentless it is, all the noise, like...
They're getting divorced.
Exactly. They're getting divorced, and they're this, and they're not happy, all that constant speculation.
How does she describe dealing with that?
She didn't mince words, apparently. Described it as a minefield.
Wow.
Yeah. Said it was a minefield that she cannot even begin to explain.
Mind fence.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's strong. Visceral language, isn't it? Really tells you the psychological toll that kind of scrutiny must take.
For sure. And the Vogue profile, as People referenced it, had her concluding that it's just a crazy life to live.
That phrase, crazy life to live, feels like it sums up the intense pressure, doesn't it?
I think so. And this People article uses that whole background to frame both of their recent contrasting posts.
And the article also gives just the basic facts, too, right? For context.
Yep, just the background details. Married September 2018, People called it a whirlwind romance.
I remember that.
Son Jack born August 2024. And their ages now, Hailey 28, Justin 31, just grounding the story in their reality as, a young couple navigating big life changes.
Under a massive microscope.
Exactly. A marriage and family life unfolding not just privately, but constantly projected onto this huge world stage.
So let's recap based just on what this People article presented. You've got these two sort of different public expressions happening almost side by side.
Yeah.
Hailey seems to be finding some power, or maybe just solace, in structured self-care like therapy, enjoying life's pleasures, posting curated stuff.
Yeah.
All while dealing with postpartum life and that public noise.
Right. Then contrasted with Justin, who's vocalizing this deep fatigue with external pressures, with transactional feelings, and he's questioning the whole idea of constantly working on yourself.
It really highlights potentially different ways of coping, doesn't it? Or maybe just different philosophies for navigating personal challenges when your life is so out there.
Definitely. One, embracing a tool like therapy, which is very much about self-work.
Mm-hmm.
The other, questioning that very concept, suggesting maybe letting go is more helpful than endless self-work.
It really does make you pause and think, doesn't it? So, based purely on what this article showed us about their public experiences,
Here.
Hailey leaning into therapy and Martinis, Justin questioning self-improvement and wanting to let go.
Yeah.
How do you think about these different approaches? I mean, what does it even mean to work harder on yourself versus letting go? Does that resonate differently depending on whether you're, famous or just dealing with everyday pressures and expectations in your own world?
That's a great question. And how much does public perception, or even just what the people around you think, actually impact your well-being?
Right. And what strategies feel most effective, maybe for you personally, when you're facing that kind of pressure or just general negativity? Therapy, letting go, something else entirely. Lots to consider there.